So why do you think poverty and homelessness is such a huge issue in Michigan?
Well, the number one reason nowadays is because of the economy.
Yeah.
And, it's had a dramatic influence on homelessness and certainly poverty.
What are some of the ways that individuals or the community can help with this increasing issue?
I think even just awareness is helpful. Others know that, and it helps to reduce the stigma. Volunteering is certainly another way. Many of the agencies that serve the homelessness couldn't survive without volunteers, and so we're especially blessed in this area because there's so much support in Traverse City area.
And even like housing, like there's a Goodwill Inn and Pete's Place, which is connected to here, and the Women's Resource Center, and Northern Michigan is very blessed with that. About how many homeless people do you think there are in Northern Michigan?
Well, referring to, I'll say in this area, which might include Benzie, Leelanau, Antrim County, Traverse County, probably, I think the last pay count, which is a point in time count, there's around between here and 200 or so, but there's a lot that aren't accounted for, that maybe youth that are just couch surfing and they don't get counted for, but yet they are homeless. And there's certainly folks that are adults that are couch surfing or not in this area that don't get counted, but yeah, there's certainly at least 200.
Definitely. Do you think that the Goodwill Inn is sufficient enough for the number of homeless people in Northern Michigan?
Well, we normally are fairly close to full, and many times full, and especially in the men's wing, more so than the singles. Now there are always seems like a waiting list for families. There's only 8 rooms here for families, and as nice as they are, there could be more, and they would be filled as well.
Do you think another homeless shelter being built would help?
Well, I think it would be helpful, but perhaps what might be more helpful, a turnaround in the economy or affordable housing. Affordable housing has such a huge impact on the homeless, and so, for instance, the Keystone apartments next door, they're a wonderful opportunity for the people, but unfortunately, the need far exceeds the availability.
So what are your opinions on the stereotypes of homeless people? Do you think any of them are really accurate?
There's certainly a small pocket of people that may fit what the stigma kind of puts in our minds. But for the most part, I would say no. There's so many different things that cause homelessness, and as I work here, I can see myself just as vulnerable as many of the guests here. It could be through domestic violence, it could be through divorce, it could be through loss of employment, maybe physical injury. Mental health has a component there, substance abuse has a component, but it's not, it certainly isn't like what we may have envisioned in our minds. No, they're wonderful people there.
Do you think that there are times of year when more housing is needed, or that there's more people that need a place to stay?
Well, they're certainly more vulnerable in the wintertime. They can't, well, many do survive even through the winter in as simple a shelter as a tent, but there is a safe harbor program that runs here in this community, which the churches, local churches, are very much involved in, and they ensure that those who who decide not to come to the inn, who are unable to go to the inn here, can have a warm place for the night, and they are provided shelter. And so the churches have certainly stepped up to the plate and made sure that there aren't any folks out in the cold at night in the wintertime. In the summertime, there's more movement and more, it's a little bit easier to.
And even more jobs open
And
up.
the job zones open up as well, and so that makes a difference too. And hopefully the economy will pick up and more people come here and tourist and everything will follow.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. This has been a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks. If you want, I can even bring in like the website that I make so you can